Good afternoon. It is Saturday the 1st of February. It is just coming up to 4:30 and I'm just about to head off out. So let's hope today is a little bit busier than yesterday. I mean, normally Saturdays are busier than a Friday, to be honest. But yeah, Friday, well, last night was a little bit weak. So yeah, I'll catch you in a bit with a little bit of an update. So it's just turned 7:45. I've had a bit of a nightmare of an evening up to now, so let me just rewind to when I came on, which was 4:30, was it? Yeah. There we go back. So I just started heading to Southport straight away when I logged on. Got my first job about 10 minutes later. As I was coming into Southport, it was 4:45 for 2.2 miles, and then a £3.70 for 1.5 miles, and then a £5.39 for 1.9 miles, and then got an XL. But there was only 2 passengers. They had a couple of bags of shopping from Morrison's. It was £6.14 and they were going 0.9 of a mile. So that was coming up to the first hour, which was it wasn't too bad. I dropped them off, and then as I pulled off, every time I accelerated I heard like a droning noise, and I thought, what the bloody hell's that? Turned the corner, accelerated again, and I heard like another droning noise. I thought, what the hell sounds like the motor or something? I don't know what it is. I thought, I'll have to pull over and have a look. I pulled over, my front tyre completely flat. It was like, you having a laugh. I mean, I've had plenty of flat tyres in my life, but normally there's rumbling, especially if it's in the front. Your steering wheel starts juddering, but there was nothing whatsoever. I thought, oh, for Christ's sake. I mean, I'm booked in to have my tyres done. If you watched my video the other day, I'm booked in on Monday. I'm having the 2 front done because they're down to 2 mil, and the offside rear has got 4 punctures in it apparently. So when I went in the other day, he's obviously had the back one off. I don't know if he's just fixed the bigger hole or something, but basically he's filled it back up to 43 psi, and it's still on 43 now, so it's basically like nothing wrong with it. So I know he's told me that it had 4 punches, but if he's fixed one, the other 3 obviously aren't even leaking. So thing is, I've already paid for the tyres now. It's just a shame because there's still like 5 or 6 mil of tread on it, so it's like it's got loads of life left in it. So but if he's fixed one and he's saying there's 3 other little tiny like holes in it, I don't really want to run the risk of leaving it for the sake of saving like 130 quid or whatever it is, 140 for the tyre. So anyway, I had my tyre inflator on me. I've got like my Milwaukee one. I'm able to swap my battery out from all my power tools onto it, you see. It's like a really powerful one. So I put that in, it inflates it like in no time, but you can hear the tyre hissing away. So I inflated it just to move around the corner because where I was on like a bit of a main road. And then I've got a tyre inflator which is under the passenger seat, which has that sealing stuff in it, but that's like a Vauxhall tyre inflator with the foam stuff integrated in. So it's like a really slow tyre inflator. So I was trying to figure out how to use that because I've never used one of the sealants in a tyre before. And this one, because it's integrated within the tyre inflator, there's like no instructions on it or anything. So I managed to pump that in anyway. It then says you need to drive around for like 2 or 3 miles to allow the sealant to go around. I pulled back over, topped the air back up again, drove for like another mile, got back out, topped. So it was still dropping, but like really slowly. It wasn't, you couldn't hear the big massive hiss. So I stopped at the it's like an SO petrol station right on Lord Street there, and got one of the little canisters. Forgot what they're called. Halts. I think it was like 8 quid. Basically you just screw that onto your tyre, open it, and then it pumps like a load of fluid in there. It takes like 90 seconds. I then put my tyre inflator back on to take it back up to 33. It then says make sure you drive round for 6 miles to allow the like the sealant, used to get like a good seal all on the inside of the tyre. I've then pulled over, checked the tyre pressure, it was still on 43. Went for another drive for like another 5 or 10 minutes, pulled over, checked it again, and it was still on 43. Basically, if it would have still have been coming down slowly, I would have just started heading home, because obviously you can't be picking passengers up like that. But basically it's held. So I've carried on working. So that happened at 20 past 5, so I've been working for an hour. I then basically spent about an hour, or just over an hour to be honest, it was like an hour and 15 minutes, messing around. That little tyre inflator that comes with the car, that's under the seat, as it was like pumping the sealant stuff in, I could see like a mist coming off. And I'm thinking, oh, it's obviously all like the powdery, foamy stuff that's going in. It wasn't. The little crappy inflator that they give you, it must have been like overheating, and there was smoke coming off it. Ridiculous. So, yeah, highly recommend getting one of them canisters to stick in. I think they work best when your tyre is completely flat. So, when I was in the petrol station, I still had like 43 psi in it, and I screwed this little can on, and I opened it, but the foam stuff wasn't going in, because obviously I think there was more pressure in the tyre than there was in the can. So basically I had to put my tyre inflator on it and turn it slightly to drop the PSI back down to about 20, I think it was, and then I put the can back on, and you could see the foam then starting to go in. So the idea is, if it's completely flat, you put that on, that sprays the foam in, and it gives you some PSI. I don't know if it's like 20 or 25. So like I said, I then put that in and then filled it up to 43, and then I was messing around. So like I said, it took me about an hour and 15 minutes until I was happy that it was staying at 43. I then came back online after that, but that was then 6:45. Got my first job, £6.36 for just over 2 miles. Then got a surge job, £4.92 for 0.9 of a mile. I then had a priority, £9.50 for just over 3 miles. I've then done a £6.57 for 2.5 miles. Just dropped them off, pulled in down here, got the tyre inflator back out just to double check, and it's still on 43, so it's perfect. So, I think it guarantees it. Where was it? Drive 100 miles, no tyre damage. So it's basically saying it's okay for at least 100 miles. So I'll get the rest of my shift out of it, hopefully. And it doesn't matter if it damaged the tyre anyway, because it's coming off on Monday and a new tyre's going on. But yeah, they're on Amazon. I think they're like £9. But I did go into the petrol station. I think it was like £8 in there, so it's actually cheaper than the petrol station, but I thought it was going to be more expensive. So yeah, I mean, technically I've done like, I don't even know what time we're on now. It's like nearly 10 to 8 now, so technically I've been out for like 3.5 hours, but I've only been online for 2. So in them 2 hours I've done £47 3 pence, which works out I'm on like £23.50 an hour, so it's not too bad, to be honest. I've managed to, hopefully up to now, salvage the night anyway, because like I said, I was on the verge of going home. If I wouldn't have had that sealant, I would have had to have, just because I haven't got a spare tyre, I would have had to have just kept jumping out, filling the tyre back up to 43, driving like a mile or so, jumping back out, and just kept topping her up to at least get me home. But yeah, that foam stuff is great, so highly recommend. I've already ordered another one on Amazon, so I can throw it in with all my bits and bobs, the little spares. So yeah, I'm going to go back online now. It's freezing cold as well, so I've been having the heating on and off. It's only 5 degrees, but it's really cold. So yeah, I've got about 2 hours left, so I should be okay. Say fuel wise, electric wise, to carry me to 10 o'clock and then go on charge. But yeah, a little bit of a disaster, because I've lost like an hour and 20 minutes of trade, so to speak. So yeah, I'll catch you in a bit. So it's just turned 1:30. I didn't realise I hadn't done an update for so long. Last update was 7:45, just after I'd managed to save me tyre to get me through. The next job I had after that, just round the corner, it was little Southport to Southport. I think it was like a £5 or £6 job. So I pulled up there. I'd waited 3 minutes, and then they sent me a message saying, "Oh, we're coming now." And then I waited like another 30 seconds or so into the chargeable time, and then another message come up saying, "We're on our way now. Please wait." So I was like, "Right, okay." And then I went into the 2-minute charging time, and then I seen like the porch light come on, and then I seen like 2 people coming out and standing there having a hug and a chat and all that. And then she walks away, and then a man comes over, and they have a hug and a chat, and they're just standing there all hugging and chatting, and then they both disappear. She's just standing there with her arms crossed like tomorrow will do. So the 5 minutes elapsed and they still hadn't come out, so I just cancelled it, took the money and left. It's annoying because you've wasted 5 minutes. You know, so to put it into perspective, if you're waiting 5 minutes, or there's some people who will wait past the 5 minutes, I cancel as soon as I possibly can, which is that 5 minutes. If you're having to wait 5 minutes and you only do, say, 5 jobs in an hour, then 25 minutes of your time has been just waiting for the customers to come out. You know, so it's just a complete waste of time. You know, if you then spread that out over, say, a 10-hour shift, that's like 2.5 hours that you've sat around of your shift waiting for somebody to come out the house. So yeah, it's their own fault really. I haven't got time for it. You know, unless you're ready to get in an Uber, don't book one. You know, it's the fact that you notify when they're on the way. You then get notified to say it's outside. You then sit around a bit more, and you then start messaging the driver to say, "Oh yeah, we're on our way. Just wait for us and all this." And it's like, well, just come out, idiots. So after that, I had a £7.55 for 2.2 miles, an XL 7.59 for 1.5 miles, a 3.75 for 0.8 of a mile, a 3.77 for half a mile, £8.39 for 3.5 miles. I then went over and went on charge. That was just after 10 o'clock. I came back off charge at 11:30. I got carried away watching Squid Games. Just on series 2, and I like to try and finish the episode. So yeah, I was there for a bit longer than I should have been. Came back online just before 11:30. £5.48 for 0.9 of a mile. Then I had a surge job, 6.15 for 0.8 of a mile. Another surge, 6.88 for 1.2 miles. Then 6.43 for 1.6 miles. £5.04 for 1.8 miles. A 6.57 for 1.5 miles. And then had another surge job, £16.24 for 5 miles. Then I had a £7.59 for 1.2 miles. A £4.03 for 1.6 miles. And then I've just done an XL, which was £6.87 for 1.2 miles. So currently on £180 and a couple of pence, and I've done 6 hours. Obviously I've deducted out of that the hour and a half that I was on charge, and it probably wasn't that far off an hour and a half when my tyre went flat, and I was messing around with that. So that's why I've done like 6 actual working hours. So that's working out at just over £30 an hour. You might want to look at it in the sense of, well, you left the house at 4:30 and it's now 1:30. So where are we? That'll be 6, 7, 8. One sec. So that'll be 9 hours. So if you looked at it in that sense, basically you'd be on £20 an hour. So it depends how you look at it. I can't really. It's hard for me to say Uber haven't been giving me jobs, so I'm on £20 an hour, because that's not very factual. It's the fact that I've had a flat tyre. That's what's knocked an hour and a half on, and then I've then gone on charge and I've been watching Squid Games, which deducted another hour and a half, so that's like my own fault. But basically, just for the working hours that I've been doing on Uber, when I've been actually logged on, I'm currently on £30 an hour. See if I've taken any screenshots. I think I've just logged off then, since I came back on at 11:30. So in them 2 hours, I've been offered 41 jobs and I've done 10. So again, similar sort of stats to what it was yesterday, which is basically 75% of the jobs I'm being offered I can't take because the fares are too low. But other than that, I haven't really taken any screenshots of anything else because it hasn't been too bad. It's been quite surgy. I've had a couple of surge jobs. Yeah, it's been quite busy, to be honest, like kind of back to back. A couple of larger jobs have popped up, like, you know, £30-40 ones going in all the way into Liverpool or into Wigan, but personally I just don't think it's worth it. I've done all that, and I just prefer basically jobs between like probably £5 and £15 thereabouts, because a lot of them you'll only do, like, for like the £5 ones, you'll be doing like a mile or a mile and a half or something, especially if it's like an XL. You know, you're getting like £10 jobs for like 2-3 miles or something, so the price per mile is quite good, and they're just little like short ones if you just stay local. So yeah, it's coming up to 20 to 2 now. I've just drove down Lord Street and I've just seen loads of Ubers all over the place. Some of them are parked on like junctions right on the corner of Lord Street. There seems to be a lot of people who think the nearer you are to like the main street or the city centre, the more jobs you're going to get. And what I found is 99% of the time, like, I'm probably half a mile out of the town centre now, and I'll get offered more jobs here than I would if I was in like the main street, like the town centre. And the thing is, you'll get paid more for it as well. If I was in the town centre now, I'd probably get offered like £4 or £5 to pick someone up from Lord Street to bring them like a mile out. Whereas if I'm here, I'll be offered like £7.50 to drive back to Lord Street to pick them up, to then come back to where I was. So, you know, granted you're doing 2 miles instead of 1, but you are getting slightly better rates, and you do seem to be busier, you know, because you're picking people up to take them into the town centre. But yeah, everyone just all seems to pile on top of each other in the town centre, thinking that's better, but I've just found that it's not. See, like, I'm being offered a job now, it's half a mile away, going 0.6 of a mile for £3.70, so it's like 1.1 mile for £3.70. So I'm being offered that job, and that's at the Skelmersdale Hotel, which is basically where everybody gets dropped off and picked up from, and that's where I've seen all the Ubers parked up. But I've been given the job, so, you know, why have I been given the job when they're parked there? You know, to me it's as though, like, I don't know, it's just something, it's the way Uber works. It's just, don't go and sit in the town centre, because that's not how you get jobs.
New message. We outside the brick.
We outside the brick. Great. So yeah, I'll give you another update shortly. So, final update, it is 3:30 and I've just got home now. Last update was 1:30. After that I've done a £3.72 for 0.9 of a mile. Then had an XL, which was £14.85 for 5 miles. £5.68 for 0.8 of a mile. And then it was, how long would that take? Yeah, so it was coming up to about 2:10. So I thought I'll start heading back to Ormskirk now, and I'd driven down Lord Street and there must have been 30 hackneys all parked up doing nothing. There was Uber drivers all parked up all over the place, and there was just way too many drivers. So started heading back towards Ormskirk. As I got into Ormskirk, I got a job including a £2 tip and a surge. It was £13.35 for 3 miles. so it's now like £4 a mile. I got a customer cancelled, and then I had an XL, which was from the McDonald's back to the university. That was £7.44 for 0.9 of a mile. I then had another one back to the uni, but that was just an X, £3.78 for 0.9 of a mile. You can see the difference there. You know, an XL you're getting £7.44, an X you're getting £3.78 for the exact same route. And then straight after that I had another XL from McDonald's again, back to the university, just shy of a mile again. So yeah, definitely worth having an XL because you're getting basically double for the rates. And then pretty much I'd had enough. I drove back into Ormskirk again. Lots of like Ubers and private tyres and whatnot are just all parked up everywhere. And I just had enough. Obviously a bit late now, coming up to 3:30. Starting to feel a bit tired, so yeah, just call it a night really. So finished the shift on £236.10. I've done 6 hours 1 minute drive. Working hours where I've been logged on, 8 hours. So that averages out at £29.51 an hour. So yeah, not too bad. Quite a good Saturday night. The only way I could have improved that really would have been obviously if it wouldn't have got that flat tyre. If I was averaging £30 an hour, you know, that would have been like what, about another £45 I would have had there. Yeah, so I would have finished on about 280 instead. But you know, it is what it is, I suppose. Just quickly see if they're taking any like screenshots. Yeah, as I got into Ormskirk before, I was offered a job. What time was this? This was about 3 o'clock. XL job. They wanted me to drive 12 miles over to Wigan to do a 2.5 mile job. So 14.5 miles in total for £9. Bearing in mind they're paying me like £7.50 to go 0.9 of a mile. So yeah, no idea where we would get the prices from, to be honest. But yeah, other than that, that's pretty much about it. Just double check, see if there's any little Karens have left any been moaning about anything. No, not tonight. Yeah, that's about it really. Nothing really else I can add to it. Won't be out tomorrow, so the next one will be if I have a chance sometime on Monday. Obviously Monday morning I've got school run to do, and then I've got my tyres getting fitted. So yeah, I'll try and do something on Monday, but if not, it'll be Tuesday. So yeah, thanks for watching, and I will catch you on the next one.